Yes, this episode of GameByte, as usual, is brought to you by our promo code from Jinx.com. Yes, use the promo code QuitStalling_366 at checkout and save yourself 10% off of all the gamer swag that you can feast your eyes on. That's right, QuitStalling_366 saves you a boatload of money. If you're spending $1,000, you save $100. Because I know a bunch of people that would spend $1,000 on Jinx.com, because that's just the kind of store they are. Use the promo code QuitStalling_366 at checkout and save yourself a little scratchola from your next pair of Tracer tights, or from that Funko Pop of Arthas, or Tracer as well. Yeah, save yourself some money. 10% off. QuitStalling_366. Check it out. Welcome everyone to GameByte. Yes, it's GameByte, the weekly gaming podcast here on the QuitStalling Media Network, or as Thyst will forever know it after today, that one time two Filipino boys invited me to FaceTime on the internet on stream. I am your host.
Best day ever.
Best day ever. I am your host. I am Herald Silvestre. Yes, that is my real name. My parents decided to name me that because they're intellectuals, and I have yet to question their authority, because, yeah, who am I to judge? And, you know what? I got a couple of co-hosts here today. No Mick today. Mick is, as you guys saw from the Wednesday's episode, Mick can't make it because he's having internet issues. But, you know, we're gonna soldier on. And, you know what? I'm just gonna get things going. Even though I totally forgot to fix a little bit of the layout here. I'm just gonna try and fix that as we go along. But yeah, with me today is my ever-present left-hand man. Never ask him what I do with my right. We're still trying to rebrand his name. He's trying to get out of the name InstaDeezy because, yeah, he's sick of it. And he's no longer the Jack Black of video games, because Jack Black is actually playing video games on the internet now. It's Diego Z. How you doing, DZ?
You know, since we have a lot of new guests, I'm just gonna give a bit of context on that.
Yeah, go for it, dude.
I get this thing a lot from people I meet that I have a lot of similar like facial hair features, and then people say, you know, you kind of look like Jack Black. So I took that to heart because I love Jack Black. I really love Jack Black as an actor. So I kind of just roll with the joke. But you know, now since he has his own gaming channel, we have to find a new nickname for me. Now I think it's like I want to be the Ryan Gosling, or the who are the other Bradley Cooper of video gaming.
Well, ambition can be confused for delusion sometimes, you know.
Delusion, come on, man. Help me out here. But
you look amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be at the show again. It's on a different day of the week, so it feels really weird. Usually it's on on the hump day, but now it's on Sunday, which is great. There's a reason why we normally have it in the evening. But yeah, thanks for everyone for joining us. But yes, Harold, thanks for having us on. Now, I want to point everyone's attention to our special guest of the day. Oh. Harold, please do the intro for me.
Okay. That's fine. We've done this a billion times. All right. All right, now it's time to introduce you to the woman who does not hide her love from Ian Hazakostas. She makes all the young bells and Tarns go, Loktar, your war chief and mine. As Pat Crane would say, it's Thyst.
What's Jable and Jables?
Yes!
If you don't want to be the Jack Black, I will be. That's fine. Jack Black. He hasn't actually done any gaming yet on Zelensky games.
He went to an arcade.
That does not matter. He went to an arcade, and he looked at his video yesterday. He looked at a pinball machine in his house, and we got to see him looking at it. But that's it, and that's fine. You know, like I read on Reddit, one of the comments was like, "Kudos to Jack Black. He promised a video every week about gaming, and he hasn't been able to figure out how to do it yet, but he's still delivering." So, do you guys think that he's actually going to play games, or if he's just trolling us? Because I don't care either way.
Actually, yeah, I really don't. I really don't mind.
I just need more Jack Black in my life.
Me too. Me too. I listen to Tenacious D all of the time, and just having more Jack Black, like regular weekly glimpses into Jack Black's life, is enriching my own, and I couldn't be happier about it, honestly.
Preach.
Heck, he's like the most YouTuber celebrity there could be, because he's, you know, none of his videos are like so professional. It's pretty much just him being himself, which is what YouTube's about, right?
Exactly. I think he said his son is editing them as well.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cute. Could you imagine if Jack Black was your dad?
That would
Oh
be
my
so
God.
cool. Dad, sing to me.
Right?
Tell me about
And
the
never
pick of
stop.
Oh my word. I mean, yeah, like I never thought of that. Like the fact that he has a son who's probably growing up in a school where everyone's like, "Oh my God, you're Jack Black's kid." You think that get old? You think I get old, or is it just like
No.
constant every time he shows up on TV? It's like, "Oh my God, he was on Hot Ones and his mouth was on fire."
It's just it's something about Jack Black and the way he is. It's just he can be in any situation at all and be totally himself, and it's so endearing, and it's so, and like he's got the chops to back it up, you know? Like he's
Yeah.
an incredible musician and songwriter
Oh,
and
yeah.
singer and actor,
yeah.
and he's just genuinely funny, and I'm just so glad that he's like, it's something to look forward to every week, you know?
Yeah, I think I watched a video recently talking about it's one of those channels that it was just random thing I clicked on where it says how to be more confident. Okay, so the main focus was Jack Black and how he portrays confidence. The secret of Jack Black is that when he does something, even if he's not good at it, he goes all out. It gives it his best, and people see that. People can resonate with that. Like, even if you're not good at basketball, which he has like had a video about, he just goes all out. He doesn't care. Like he'll trash talk, but for fun, he'll try to you know the cross. I don't know what the basketball. Harold, you can help me out on this one. The one where you cross the ball through your legs, and then you like evade, go across your opponent. He'll,
I think
do
someone would
so
call that a crossover.
There we go, the crossover.
I got you, bro.
He's so
I got you, bro.
Like, he's so confident in whatever he does, even if he's not good at it. But that's what's so endearing.
Yeah.
Totally. Exactly.
The dude is just, you can't hate him because he's so adorable.
He really is. He's the cutest thing in the world.
Oh yeah, so true. And yeah, like was it the video before last where he was just like trying to figure out the Elgatos, but it's not working out this week. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
He just like took his kids to a burger joint and he ate like a burger and then fries and then a sandwich or something, and then he went to a Guitar Center and he's talking to the guys working there. Like, if I was working at Guitar Center and friggin' Jack Black comes in asking for the pick of destiny, I would probably pee my pants and like pass out in a puddle of urine on the floor. You know, it's like that.
someone get this man the pick of destiny right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that Thyst has brought active chat to our show.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, so Techie Taco said he's technically gamed on his Tesla and he played Pitfall. Is that? I haven't seen that. Is
That's
that true?
That's true. And it's interesting because in that video, he says that Pitfall was his first gig, and then he throws it back to his very first commercial where he was the person in the Pitfall commercial talking about Pitfall. And he actually still has it, and he plays it.
I've
Isn't that
seen
amazing?
that. That's
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's a throwback. I've seen that on YouTube, and I didn't mean to make it sound like I saw that back in the 80s, but wow. Like, you think he still gets like residual checks from that?
Probably not.
Yeah, truth. But yeah, like that's the dude is so cool, and you can just watch him not play video games. I mean, the internet's been pretty positive about the fact that he hasn't. So
Yeah, we don't care. We just want more Jack Black. That's all we want.
exactly.
oh man. All right. Well, we usually start the show Thyst, with asking everyone what they've been playing. So why break tradition? we want to ask the chat. We want to ask everyone at home, if you're listening to the audio-only version of the podcast, tweet us. We'll reply. We'll send you a funny GIF. Let us know, what have you been playing? I want to start off with Diego Z, if I may. DZ, man, what have you been up to?
Oh my god, well, this whole weekend, the past 2 days, I've been playing Anthem.
Oh.
I've been battling the login screen and all the loading screens.
No.
It's the hardest level in the game. Pressing enter to resume and getting the connection problems, man. Those ads are just insane.
It's rough, and the fact that the server issues have been ever present.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to get too much into it because I want to save it for next week's show.
Welcome
That's all I'm gonna say, because there's still
Yeah.
so much more, and there's not enough for me to say to give my decision just yet.
Okay, respect. Is that all you've been playing since Wednesday?
That's all I've been doing.
Who has
All
time?
I've been doing.
Who has time? All right, Thyst, what have you been playing?
WoW and Overwatch mainly. We just finished up Call of the Scarab. I don't want to talk about it. I did lots of world PvP, lots of BGs. Started Dazala lore this week. We got just normal, but we got 5 out of 9 this week. We ran out of time. In Overwatch, I hit 100 hours on Diva recently, so I'm officially a badass. And I've been working on my self-proclaimed badass. And I've been working on my Wrecking Ball lately and been having a lot of fun with it, because you never know what that hamster's going to do
Truth.
until he does it.
Man,
Agreed.
since I heard you say that on Battlenet, I've tried a couple of quick play games as Wrecking Ball, and I've immediately switched because, like you said, you have to think outside the box to play that cute little hamster.
It's hard, and you kind of have to know physics, which I don't at all. So a lot of the time, I'll end up in precarious situations that I didn't mean to get in, and that's weird to me because my two mains are Diva and Moira, and I think I play them mostly because I appreciate characters with lots of mobility, but mobility you can control, you know? Like, I know I've got the muscle memory down for Diva's boost. Like, I know how far I'm going to get. I know how high I'm going to get. And I know that I can turn it off at a second's notice if I need to. And with Moira, you know, a lot like the mage I play in World of Warcraft, I kind of get a feeling for how far her blink is going to go. So if I look at a distance, I've been playing so much that I know that I can get to where I need to go easily in any direction. But with Hammond, it's you kind of fling yourself, and I mean, maybe I just haven't been playing him enough to know, but I'll fling myself and I'll end up on top of things, underneath the map sometimes accidentally, lots of times off of a cliff, right onto the point when nobody else is, dangling precariously over a cliff that I can't get back up, and then I have to just die because there's nothing I can do, and that's really embarrassing. But I'm just a hamster after all, so can't expect too much.
No one can blame such an adorable creature like Jack Black as well.
No, of
you know
course
what I mean? Oh man, yeah. DZ, man, like I know you've had some experience with Wrecking Ball, and like the moment he came out, you took like a duck to water and really enjoyed him. Like how is that? Like I can't figure him out, man. Like at least this gets to swing. I just end up missing my hook and running right into the other team.
I can say the same. Same situation as you. I mean, I love hamsters. That's the only reason why I play them, because I adore pet hamsters. I have like 3 dolls like in my back in my shelf that are hamsters.
Aw.
Yeah. My girlfriend gave them to me. It's like she knows how much I love hamsters. So when we both saw that Hammond was the new hero, oh my god, this cannot be happening. They actually put a hamster in the game.
When that space hamster popped out of his mech in the very first promo for Wrecking Ball last year, I immediately went to one of my Blizzard friends and I had to clarify. I'm like, dude, is that real? Are we being trolled right now? Like a hamster? Really? And I was kind of upset about it because I was like, oh, my immersion. And then I thought about it for a while and I'm like, there's a talking gorilla. There's a woman. Also, this does not exist. It's completely fictional, and if they want to have a hamster, they can. And so, and then he's just so cute, but he's also kind of feisty and a little bit rude, and I like that. He also kind of reminds me of my cat, just the way he looks. So,
Aww.
but yeah, he's fun, and once you get kind of a handle on him. See, the thing is, I used to be on this quest to be a Symmetra main back when that wasn't a cool thing to do, and I wasn't necessarily doing it to be edgy or like I'm a Symmetra main,
Yeah.
I just really loved playing Symmetra back in the day because you could be a complete jerk and think outside the box and really upset people and make them really angry. And I don't like trolling people, but if the name of the game in the actual game is to kind of troll people and use your turrets in a way that people don't expect, like I would push cardboard boxes in King's Row into the side or in the middle of the street and then hide a turret inside, stuff like that.
Memes.
And so exactly. And I would play her and I would just laugh out loud. Like I don't usually laugh out loud when I play my mains unless I'm doing really well. But Symmetra made me laugh, and I love when that happens in gaming because that's my favorite thing to do is just like just huge belly laughs in gaming. And ever since they changed Symmetra and she's like a viable character, she's not as fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't getting that kind of response from any characters that I was playing until I started playing Hammond. And I remember I forget what map it was, but I was just swinging around and around and around, and people kept walking into me and I was smacking them. And it really makes this excellent smacking sound when you hit people with your hamster ball.
Oh yeah,
like,
satisfying.
So
smack,
satisfying.
Yes, and it's hilarious. And so I live for those moments. Like I will just latch onto the payload and just swing around and around and around. And I know I'm not, I know I could be playing a lot better, but it makes me laugh. So, and I think having fun and laughing in a video game is probably the most important thing in any video game.
Yeah. Because I agree with that wholeheartedly because before, like, let's say last year, okay, Overwatch, me and my friends were playing nonstop. Me and Herald were playing nonstop, and we loved the game so much. But it came to a point where the game just became kind of salty. It wasn't healthy because we kept getting frustrated at the competitive ladder. So we took a break, and then Blackout came out. So we played that for like how many months. But then I played Overwatch last week with my friends, and we were having fun, but a different kind of fun because we just told ourselves, we're here to have fun. We're here to just laugh and just play with each other. Even if we lost, we were still laughing out. We were still having so much fun. I agree totally with your point that, you just gotta play the game and have fun and not worry too much about the SR.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like Techie Taco. Just enjoy smacking people with your ball.
He really does.
Man, like honestly, one of the things that crossed my mind when I invited you on the show, Thyst, is I wanted to play Overwatch with you. Actually, I've been dying to play Overwatch with Pat and everyone, because the thing is, the ping, since we're all the way over here, is much higher when we play with people from like North America, because like we still connect to the Americas server, because there's a data center in Singapore, so that's what we connect to. So our ping is like usually 40 to 60, maybe 80. But when we play with people from America and we connect over to like a West Coast server, it's like up to 250. So it's like, I can't play this. I'll just look bad in front of my friends. How am I supposed to impress, Pat Crane or Thyst if I'm just gonna miss all my shots?
It's really hard to impress Pat too. You kind of have to be the best. He's also really impressed by people with beards and muscles who smell really good.
Hi, Thorin.
I'd love to.
DZ, you fit that bill
muscles?
Quite well.
Yeah.
Let me take a shower. Hold on.
Okay. But yeah, let us know in the chat what you guys have been playing. DZ, thanks for asking, man. So I have also been playing a little bit of Overwatch this week. And it's been fun. It's been fun getting back into the swing of things because, Diego, like you mentioned in previous shows, since November after we did Plus Attack, we haven't played as much because we're we're trying not to get burned out on a game that we enjoy so much. So a little bit more Overwatch recently with the league hype coming up. You know, seeing all the news that's coming out, and it's been fun. I've scarcely been able to play video games the past couple weeks because of the thing we're having next week, DZ, which we'll talk about in a bit. But you know, it's good. It's good when you don't take it too seriously. It's so good. And like Diego, I've also been dabbling in a little bit of Anthem. Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty good. Side. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I haven't actually been able to raid with my raid team. Hi, Bacon and Kegs. Because of how busy we've gotten, DZ. Not because of other video games. We've gotten busy. So, hi guys. Yeah, it happens, right? It happens. And, you know, I just want to play some video games. I just want to have some video games. Oh, wow. Say his name 3 times in the chat, DZ. Say it.
I am Beetlejuice too.
Ah, damn. Never mind.
What?
No, like, I remember in Beetlejuice, you say his name 3 times. He shows up.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, sorry, I missed the reference. I miss all your references, but that one I particularly missed because I didn't watch Beetlejuice too much growing up, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's the Michael Keaton one.
Oh yeah. I remember there was I don't want to get too off topic, but I remember there was news that they were gonna have a sequel to that. I don't know if there's still any traction.
Oh yeah, that was fake.
That was fake.
Totally fake. Yeah, that was fake.
Oh, no Friends reunion this year. Damn it. Oh no. All right.
Was that also fake?
Yeah. Like, everyone falls for it because every year there's like an announcement. Oh, Friends is having a reunion. But I digress. Let's talk about Thyst. Oh, let me pull this music down. Let's talk about our guest, DZ, because we have her on for a reason, and we want to get to know her a little bit, especially for the local fan that we have watching us. We don't have many fans, Thyst. For the local fan that's watching right now, you know, we might as well introduce Thyst to them. So let's do it. Let's talk about this. Let's do it.
Welcome to the end, friend.
All right, let's find out more, just a little more about this before we talk about what's going on in the world of gaming right now. So Thyst, for those uninitiated, who is Thyst?
Oh man, that's a really simple question. There's not much to her. Hi, I'm Thyst. What's going on? I guess I'm a podcaster. Well, I am. I don't. That's a thing that I do. I do the show Lagging Balls. That is a podcast about Blizzard games. It also heavily features inappropriate jokes and swears. That's been going for about 3 years. What year is it? It started in 2015 anyway. That's a weekly thing, audio only. I'm also a co-host on Convert to Raid Presents the Battlenet News with Pat Crane and co. That is it's a visual thing. You can watch it if you like. It's every Tuesday. It's also about Blizzard games, but significantly less swearing. Although I've been trying to implement a lot of dirty jokes lately.
Been working well.
And it's been kind of working. Yeah, I keep saying that I'm corrupting Pat Crane, but he keeps saying he's already been like this, so I'm not sure.
He's already been like that, but yeah, he's trying not to let it show too much. You're just bringing it out of him.
Just a little. Just a little. He's been on the Alliance side too long. He needs more hard influence in his life. Outside of podcasting, I am a esports content programming manager for Imagine Media. That basically means I curate, create, and write content for the vertical Tryhard. It's a Snapchat and Instagram account. Right now, we're heavily focused on our Snapchat right now. You can go into Discover section and try looking for Tryhard. That's like a one-word type deal. And then every day there's news and memes and clips and just photos of gaming culture and esports stuff in general. But yeah, so I don't know. I do a lot of stuff about games, basically.
Good stuff. Good stuff. How long have you been podcasting for?
I started in May of 2015. I had gone to school for radio broadcasting for a little bit, and then I went for theater arts. And so obviously I was working in retail, and podcasting it was something I always wanted to do. I was a massive fan of Convert to Raid and the instance and everything in between, and of course Smodcast especially.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes, I'm a massive Kevin Smith fan. So I tried my hand at it with my friend Thorn, who I knew through WoW, and we've been going ever since, and it's pretty great. It's pretty great. So yeah.
That's awesome. So I want to talk about Kevin Smith a little after the show, because
Sure.
I too am a fan of the man. I'm a regular listener of Fat Man on Batman. But yeah, that's awesome. So like, you've been podcasting for a couple years now. What are the things that have ingrained themselves in you over the past couple years? Like what are I don't want to make it sound too deep. Like, oh, what are the life lessons you've taken away from podcasting? Nothing like that. But like, what are the things that have stuck out to you over your fairly young career, quote unquote, as a podcaster?
What stood out? I initially started it for fun, and it quickly turned into a lifestyle. And I think the most important thing that I've gotten out of Lagging Balls in particular is the community. We have an amazing community. I never dreamed that, because, you know, CTR has a massive community. They have, 10 guilds across the world. That's a lot of people. That's like 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And their community is amazing and supportive and just full of really wonderful people who are passionate about WoW. And I never thought that my show, which is, again, largely about dick jokes and swearing, would amass such an amazing community on its own. And I always knew that we had an incredible listener base, but when we started our Discord server last year or the year before, I can't recall, people came out in droves, and they're the most incredible people. And I think that really speaks to the Blizzard community at large, especially on Twitter, also on Facebook, not so much Reddit or the forums, obviously, but everywhere in between that. And the thing is, if you're looking to start a podcast, you have to remember that consistency is key. They always say, you know, if you can get past 10 shows, you'll probably make it. If you can't, then you definitely won't. If you're looking to start a Blizzard podcast in particular, you have to realize that there is a lot of them. A lot of them. So you have to sort of search within yourself and bring out, you know, what you have to offer that nobody else has. And that might just be your personality. And you know, if you're really good at reporting news, report the news. If you're terrible at reporting the news, like we are, don't do it. There's no format, you know, like there's nobody telling you how you have to run your show. The most important thing, though, if you're going to start a Blizzard podcast, is you have to sort of set a good example for your podcast by being open to the community. Don't burn any bridges. Say hi to everybody, because everybody is always willing to, you know, let you into the community and make you a part of everything they've got. So, I don't know. I think that's key for an aspiring Blizzard podcaster. Be nice to people and be consistent and be yourself. For a podcaster in general, same thing, except without the Blizzard stuff I mentioned.
Oh man, have you gotten the chance to meet the Lagging Balls community specifically? Because I know you've met a lot of the people from the CTR community because of the meetups that happen.
Yes, I have. Every time I go to BlizzCon, I get to meet more and more people. Last year, I guess now, was really great because I got to do my first meet and greet. So I got to sit at a table at Calm Before the Storm, and I met so many people. I actually met a lot of patrons as well. And it, like, getting to do a meet and greet in general is, I don't want to say it's a weird experience, but like there's nothing that's going to prepare you for that, because you're just a person sitting behind a table and people are actively coming up to you and talking about how much they like what you do. and it's probably the best feeling ever. So I got to experience that, and it was wonderful. But literally just walking around BlizzCon, the convention during the day, the parties during the night, people just come up, and like I said, I will hug as many people as I meet to absorb their essence. And yeah, so if you see me at BlizzCon, just come on up. We'll assume the hugging position. I will breathe in your essence and absorb your powers and become more powerful.
Okay. Well,
lend you our energy.
That's an amazing quirk superpower to have. How do you get to use that on a daily basis?
You don't want to know.
No. Or do we? No, that's Pros Baby in the chat says Thyst equals vampire. Confirmed.
He would know.
Okay. Is Pros Baby a victim of the transaction
Not
of hugging?
Yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. He is an award-winning author, however. So I'm looking to absorb some of that power so I can take over not only the Blizzard podcasting world, but the literary world as well.
Oh man, Christy Golden, watch out! This is coming for your job.
Watch out.
Oh man. Okay, so we've talked about your podcasting, and all naturally we've also talked about your love for Blizzard and Blizzard games in the community. How long have you been playing Blizzard games? What was your first Blizzard game?
My first Blizzard game was Warcraft. Just straight up. I was lucky enough to have a father who was already a video game nerd back in the day. He had a laptop from his job, and he got Warcraft to 1, 2, and 3, and he let me play it. And obviously, I was exceedingly young and impressionable, so let your kids play video games. They'll end up like this. But I always played Orc. I was never interested in humans.
So the origin story of this.
Exactly. And like when I say that now, people are like, oh, sure. Yeah, like you always played Orc. But I did. I was the kind of little kid who didn't really like dolls and stuff. I liked stuffed animals. Like in my head, I was a cat or some other animal or whatever. And orcs looked more like animals to me than humans did. Plus, I'm already human, and that's not fun. I was into immersion even back then. Mm-hmm. So I played all of the Warcraft games, and then when World of Warcraft came out, I got it. I didn't get it in the November 2015, I think is when it came out. I didn't get it in November. I got it for Christmas. So yes, I played vanilla, but like not pure vanilla, unfortunately. Yeah. But I was excited about it because I already was familiar with Warcraft, and I was really into the idea of playing as a Tauren because I really liked cows, and I still do. So I did. And the only time I've ever taken a break was when I almost flunked out of college because I was staying up late playing WoW. I was really tired in the morning. Yeah. So I think that's the only time my sub ran out. But it was kind of like I kind of had to. It was I was gonna fail. So, but lucky I brought it back. Everything's fine. But unfortunately, I didn't get that cool statue that everybody got a couple of years ago.
I was gonna mention it. Yeah. So you were so close. You're so close.
I was close.
Sorry, I'm not familiar. I haven't played WoW. What's the statue? Sorry.
So if you Thyst, go ahead.
Oh no! It was like what 2014 or something like that.
Yeah.
That was pretty recent.
Yeah. So like if you'd been a subscriber for a long time, like it didn't have to be at launch, but like it had to be like fairly like within the vanilla era. And you'd had your sub never run out. They would send like a commemorative statue to your address, so you had to make sure the address was right before they sent it.
Oh, it's you get a physical. It's not an in-game thing.
Oh yeah, physical.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's cool.
Let me see if I can pull it up. It was huge.
Did you get one, Harold?
Like metal or something?
Yeah. Statue. Wow.
The 10-year subscriber according to Beetlejuice, I think. The 10-year anniversary.
Let's see. Oh, there, I found it. Oh my god. It's kind of the statue a smaller version of the statue they have on campus. The one that has like their core values underneath it. Let me pull it up on screen right now. Instead
It's
of
almost
describing
too
it.
beautiful to.
Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that.
They would
So
have sent you
2004 to
that?
2000. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Look at that. Oh my god.
Wow.
I regret going to school.
I trained
Not
my
worth.
college degree for this.
Yeah, I will hand in my degree for one of those. I don't care.
Anyone on eBay or the Facebook Marketplace, hit up Thyst 03
You
on
want a
Twitter.
degree in theater arts from a Canadian college? I'll hook you up.
Wait, according
Does
to Beetlejuice, the statue cost him more than $1,500.
So if you add up your
I mean-
subscription, that's how much it costs?
Possibly.
Wow.
10 years.
I mean, whatever. I mean, but you're also paying for 10 years of fun. So
Yeah.
totally worth.
It's like like this is what people don't get. Like, you know, we see like a lot of complaints on Reddit about like the nitpicky stuff, you know, and people don't get like a lot of the stuff Blizzard does for the fans, like really nice cinematics every expansion to take the whole expansion to make. Those are pretty much free. 'Cause, like and like the shorts that come before the expansions, like the Warlords of Draenor shorts or the Tides of Vengeance. Wait, no, not Tides of Vengeance. Oh, just remind me, what were the shorts called before Battle for Azeroth?
Before Battle for Azeroth? Oh.
Warbringer?
Warbringer? Yes.
Like
and
the one
then
with
there
Jaina,
was-
Ajara. Like
Yes,
yeah,
the
like,
Warbringers. Yeah.
yeah, like all that stuff is pretty much free. Like, yes, they get a lot of our money, but they don't have to give us that content because they get away with it. And yeah, like the fact that they give that to us, like, come on, give them some credit. Give them some credit. This is all
Blizzard
free.
gives us so much.
Yeah,
So much.
it's so true. Blizzard overlords. They do so much for us. They do so much for us. But yeah, like, DZ, what would you have played World of Warcraft, or would you have played a game that long if you knew the 10-year goal would have been they mail you a statue?
Like, you know, I think honestly, if let's say I was 1 year into it, and like they said, if you play with us for the next 10 years, you'll get this. I'd be like, maybe not. But like, I'd only consider it if I've already spent the money 10 years down the line. Like, I would have gotten that if I stayed. Why didn't I stay? But like, if it was a year after playing, why am I gonna stay for that long?
Yeah. Hindsight is 2020.
Exactly.
True.
Oh man. All right. So this, you played Warcraft from the beginning. What got you into Overwatch? What was the thing that stood out for you? What was the, aside from Chris Metzen just being such a rock star during BlizzCon?
That was so cute when he started to cry. For the 100th time. Honestly, it was another Blizzard game. And at that point, Lagging Balls was really young, and we knew that another game was coming up, and we thought, if we add this, actually that was kind of the decision maker for us. It was going to be just a WoW podcast and nothing else, but we saw that Blizz was expanding their roster of games, and we figured, there's not going to be a lot of WoW news every single week. Plus, I was in the middle of Draenor, and as much as I love Draenor, there really wasn't a lot to talk about every week. So we included that, and we don't talk about StarCraft that often on Lagging Balls because we don't play it. I don't believe in talking about video games that I don't play. I can talk about them, but I can't speak to them, and it's not interesting listening to a podcaster talk about a game that they don't play.
Yeah.
So we tried it out. I've never been a huge FPS person. Like, I've certainly played a lot of it, but I think I'm largely I thought I was largely an MMO person, but so Overwatch came out, and I didn't get. I think I got access to the closed beta weekend once, and
Oh wow.
We played the open beta weekends. I remember it was like my birthday. It was in May, and I was in a fancy hotel for my birthday, and I literally brought all of my gaming stuff to play Overwatch with my friends in the hotel room. And I played so much, and I hadn't played so much, and because it was like weekends, right? So you had to play as much as you possibly could because it was going away in 2 days. I remember back in the day in WoW, I was playing so much that my arms would go numb and my eyes would get really crusty and dry. And that hadn't happened to me in a really long time. And every single time there was an open weekend for Overwatch, I was playing so much that like I was not blinking enough and I was getting that eye crust. So that's how you know that you're really enjoying a game. So probably too much detail. But anyway,
no, that's so cool.
the way that Blizzard does first-person shooters in Overwatch is incredible. It's more like, you know, people who've been playing FPSs their whole life are going to come in and have an easier time, obviously, but it's your typical Blizzard game. It's fun when you play it, but you can't get good unless you keep playing it. It's like, wow, it's like you can go in and mess around for years if you want to, but you have to keep playing and doing the content to actually get good at it. And that's not just leveling up. That's not just gathering gear or anything like that. That's muscle memory. That's situational awareness. It's learning the maps. Like when you bring in a new Overwatch player, it's like, yeah, you need to learn this character and you need to know what this character does and what its class means and what you should be doing. But you also need to get to know these maps, because if you don't know every single angle that somebody could come at you, if you don't know every single angle that you can disappear to, you're going to have a hard time. So the only way to get good is literally to play a lot of it. And I think that's the best trait that a video game can have, because if you play more and you get better as you play, you're going to keep playing, and that's going to be fun. So that's how I got into Overwatch.
Oh, wow. No, that's so cool. I think a lot of people got into Overwatch the same way you did, because from my small circle of people I talk to, it's a very small circle of people I talk to. Welcome to the circle, by the way, Thyst.
Yeah, I'm in the circle.
Yeah, and then we step out after. You know, like a lot of them had never really played FPSs, especially for this long. And there was just something about Overwatch, you know, whether it was the map-based objective style play that felt like a MOBA, or the animation and the, you know, just the overall stylization of the world, or the lore, which, you know, Michael Chu, we're still waiting for. Like, you know, there was a lot that drew different people in, and it was really interesting for me. That's why I asked, because, you know, everyone more or less has a different entry point into it and a different perspective of why they started playing.
Absolutely. And I think you're right. Like the stylistic choices with Overwatch, it's, you know, you look at Counter-Strike and you look at Call of Duty, and yes, they're very different games, but they don't look like it at first glance. Like even PUBG. And when you think of an FPS, that's what you think of first, probably. And for people who don't play FPSs at all, what they're thinking is, you know, okay, it's going to look like Counter-Strike or COD, and I'm going to go in and I'm just going to get shot because I don't know what I'm doing. When you look at Overwatch, you see bright colors. You see, you know, not cartoony, well, kind of cartoony, but you see that, and like you see whimsy, you see jokes, you see a hamster, you know, and you're like, okay, this isn't too threatening. I could probably play this, and you can, and you do. So yeah.
There's personality in the whole game in itself. Primarily, like a lot of it's because of the characters as well. I mean, everyone's pretty much fleshed out. Everyone has, like, you can identify each person just by, you know, pretty much by what they wear, who they look like. It's like, wow, this seems like a person who's like this. We have a talking gorilla. Why not, right?
He's a scientist, Diego.
I'm sorry, he's a scientist.
Talking scientist. We don't get those in the real world, man. All right, like, it's a fantasy world. I love being in it. That's awesome. And, you know, are you looking forward to what might come? Because me and Diego, we've talked about it on the show before, and, you know, you can take new maps into the game and keep refreshing the objectives and give us different modes. But one thing I mentioned to Diego and our other co-host Mick in the past is I kind of need more lore at this point. It's kind of getting long in the tooth where we don't get, not necessarily a PvE mode, although I was telling them I feel like that would help a lot. if we can get story in the game instead of externally, and it might be easier for them to give us lore through that. But I wanted to ask you, like, do you feel like the esports side and the competitive side of it is holding up? Is holding it up, or do you want more lore? Or are there things you want more from Overwatch nowadays?
I want everything from Overwatch. I would love more lore. I admittedly don't understand why there isn't more lore more often. We just had Battlenet come out. We discovered a few things about Soldier and Ana and Reaper and Pharah. And it was great, but we already know quite a bit about those characters. I mean, obviously not as much as we thought, but you know, where's the Zenyatta lore? Please, please. So I don't know what's up with that. I have always appreciated all of the outlets that they use to give us lore when they do, like the comics, the shorts, the short stories, and things like that. It would be nice if there's a PvE mode, like when they do Uprising and stuff like that. Like, there's a reason Uprising is so popular, because, you know, you go in, you play some PvE, and you learn about these characters that you are crazy about. So I really don't understand why there isn't more. I don't think that Overwatch necessarily needs the esport aspect to stay relevant or to, you know, stay a popular game at all. I think those two things are becoming a little separate at this point. Like, Overwatch League is it's its own thing, you know. It's a little bit apart from Blizzard even, and I don't know. I don't think that Overwatch League would benefit from lore, but it certainly wouldn't hurt. I know a lot of people who are playing Overwatch and watching Overwatch League just because they love the characters. And they've developed so many rich and interesting characters that represent such a wide variety of people that, you know, people can't help but, you know, become completely endeared with these characters and see themselves in some of these characters and be excited to see themselves represented in a major video game. But it's like, when is the dam going to open? Like, where's all the lore? Where's, you know, can you give us a book? Can you give us a series? Can you give us a comic book series? Can you give us a television series, like Netflix, like a movie? It's something, please, you know?
Yes!
I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, I'm not complaining. And when the shorts come out, they're beautiful and gorgeous and compelling and real pieces of art. And I understand that it takes a very long time for shorts to come out, of course. But, you know, more short stories like Battlenet, more comics like they did last year. Like, every couple months they dropped another comic and it would explain more about a character or about the story in general. I don't understand.
Yeah, the comics just disappeared.
Even a novel. Yeah. Even a novel, you know?
Ooh.
It'd be fine.
Real quick, who would you guys want a novel of? Like, a really, like, usually we see, like, the Warcraft books are, like, pretty thick. Who would you want, like, that long of a story of at the moment?
I don't know if I'd want one in particular. I think I would love to know maybe, like, a novel about how Overwatch came to be and Overwatch in its heyday, or, you know, or the demise of Overwatch, or Overwatch present day, or lack thereof, you know? Just something that...
I laughed because, yeah, I am Beetlegeist in the chat said Bob. I'm so sorry, Thyst.
We just want to know about Bob.
Oh, man.
Like, Froze maybe, though, has a good one. Like, we want to know what happens, like, before the Omnic Crisis. Or maybe, like, there could be a novel of, you know, maybe during the Omnic Crisis in itself. Maybe it's, like, a side story of, like, other characters. Like, what people who were, like, going into hiding, like, or trying to avoid the war. Just, like, enclosed stories. I think that, what's the term for that? Side stories during the whole war. There, yeah, like, quick, maybe small spin-offs.
Yeah.
Like, during the war itself. That would still be interesting.
Of
like,
course,
they're talking
anything would be great at this point.
Anything would be great. Yeah.
Literally anything would be welcome at this point.
Please. And, like, obviously, I'm not suggesting that writing a whole novel about something would be, you know, an easy turnaround or anything like that, but something, you know, like, give the animators a break, let them work on the cinematics, and I don't know, just find the equivalent of Christy Golden for Overwatch.
Ooh,
and hire
yeah.
her, bring her into Blizzard, or him, bring them into Blizzard, and be like, this is the story guidelines. Go, deliver,
Damn.
do it.
Get Metzen back, people. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Get Chris Metzen back.
He's coming back. He's coming back to WoW. I know it.
You
I
can
mean, I
feel
don't
it.
officially know it.
You
but
can
I
feel
know
it in
I
your
feel
bones after that
I
Q&A
smell it.
with Randy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that stunt they pulled was so heartwarming.
That was all Randy's idea.
So good. And I love that Scott
Yeah.
played along and didn't tell anyone because Scott cannot keep a secret. Okay, I know the man. I really don't, but Scott, if you're watching, I know you're watching. Come on the show. All right, let's do this. Yeah, we've talked a lot about this, and I want to save more for the future. Yeah, I'm gonna put the rest of the questions in the pocket because I want to have this
There's
back
no
on.
more.
There's
That's
there's
it.
nothing
You
else to
already
know about
everything
you.
About me. Sorry. That's it.
No, we've tapped the well dry. Okay, that's fine. We'll give you another year or two, and we'll get some more backstory, and then we'll
God.
explore it. We'll explore it in a short animated short on GameByte. You know, like
Oh, okay. Cool.
yeah, Thyst. Yeah, we'll figure that out. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about the company we've so praised so much over the past 49 or so minutes. Let's talk about Blizzard in our Blizz corner.
Oh, let's break it down! Epic!
Yes, and this portion of GameByte is brought to you by the Quit Stalling and Play Overwatch PH Philippine Overwatch Community Meetup. Come and cosplay and win a lot of little local currency. Just a little bit of the moolah. Yes, come in your best looks, come in your best cosplay, and get a chance to win the grand prize and eat some Lucio O's as well. Check it out, February 2, 6 p.m. to 12 midnight, only at Game Over PH. Alright guys, let's talk about Blizzard. Specifically right now, I want to talk about World of Warcraft because I am dying to play, and I want to know about the newest raid. That's the only real reason why I want to have this part of the show, is I want to know about the new raid. How has Blood of the Scribe and your raid team been dealing with the Battle of the Zara-Lore?
It's been going well so far. We started on Wednesday with normal, and I think we got 4 bosses down. No, that's not right. I don't remember, but we've gotten 5 out of 9 so far. The first couple of bosses are not easy, but just your typical sort of like intro bosses. It's pretty cool to see, like, there's some great cinematics. I won't spoil anything there, but it's cool to be fighting things in Zala-Lore just because as a horde you know it pretty well. Even though as much as I think I know Zala-Lore, I don't. I often get lost.
Yeah.
And end up running off a bridge or something like that. But okay, so after 3 bosses, the first 3 bosses are neutral. After that, you start horde turns into alliance, and I am a blood elf, so I turn into a human.
No,
my
I've
human
seen
has
the Twitter
freckles and
pics.
purple eyes.
I've seen the Twitter pics. You refuse to turn human. I admire you for that, War Chief.
Well, I'm trying to. The thing is, I'm trying to use my cosmetic toys to try to maintain some dignity here. But the bosses keep popping them off. I've already reported this bug. Obviously, it must be a bug because it's so unfair. I don't know if feeling awkward is a mechanic that they're implementing, but I certainly do. It's weird. You literally lose your racial traits, so you're actually playing as a different race. And that's bothering a lot of people because a lot of people use their racial traits in their rotation, not in their rotation, but regularly. So that's kind of a change for people.
Yeah.
It's weird as a mage. We got all of the alliance bosses down, and when I say alliance bosses, I really mean horde bosses because you're fighting against the Loas and Rastakhan and Bwansamdi, but as alliance. I tried to port my raid out after we finished, after like hard stop after raid time, and I couldn't because Zala-Lore is horde and I was human. So that's the real deal. Like, they're not messing around. It's not just an illusion. Like, you don't have your racial ability, and you cannot port to any place that's Horde. So it's not great.
So,
I mean,
wow.
Yeah, they just really went for it, and I'm not criticizing it because I don't think that it's a cool feature of the raid, because I do. You know, honestly, admittedly, it's real cool. I just really don't like being alliance. That's a me thing, not a game thing.
I can feel the disgust. I've heard it on the podcast before, but I've never felt it, you know, straight to my ears, you know, on a call. You really do not like the alliance.
No, I'm a Horde loyalist. I always have been. It's just it's part of who I am. But
and if I'm not mistaken, for Diego's reference as well, you refuse to make an alt character to put into Convert to Raid for that very reason. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. Convert to Raid members who are Horde curious are always welcome in Blood of the Scribe, and we have a lot of them. But no, I sometimes I feel bad too, because I love the CTR community so much, so much, and a lot of CTR community members are also Lagging Balls community members.
Yeah.
And I love them, but they are alliance, so you know, it's conflicting, and I never like. This kind of like quote unquote hatred is reserved for game only, and it makes the game more fun for me. I love faction pride. I love faction conflict. That's why BFA has been especially fun for me. But I don't actually hate anybody who plays Alliance. I just think they're horribly misguided, and I would like to teach them why.
Okay.
Maybe on the battlefield. But anyway, back to Zuluaga. The boss that I like most so far is Opulence. It starts off, you have to split your raid into two, and you have to go down 2 long corridors at the same time fighting large mobs. And there's sections in the corridor, and there's different things that you have to worry about in each section, and you also have to kind of coordinate with the other group, like where and what you're doing and what the percentage is on this mob, and then you kind of have to kill them down at the same time, and you cannot see each other either while you're doing it, and you also have to grab some gems that give you like an extra ability, and then so if you kill those 2 mobs at the same time, then you go in to fight Opulence, and the room is just full of gold and jewels, and it looks like the beginning of DuckTales. You know, when Scrooge McDuck like dives into the coins. Yeah, it looks like that. And Opulence himself is just like a dude made out of gold and coins and stuff. So there's been a lot of Austin Powers Gold member jokes running around, obviously, classic. As you do. There's that fight. There's a lot of ad mechanics that you have to worry about, and it took us a little while to get that down, but once we did, it was worth it. And that boss drops this amazing crown model. Like every class gets one, and the like varying degrees of difficulty gives you like different colors of the crown. But I'm hoping by the end of this raid we all have crowns, because they're pretty nice looking.
Yeah, they look awesome.
Totally. The cloth one is called like Crown of the... Oh, what's it called? Like Crown of the Seducer. That's it.
Ooh,
I think,
perfect. Yeah. That's perfect.
So that sounds pretty good to me. But yeah, so right now we didn't have enough time to figure out the Rostakon fight. It's not too difficult. There's just a lot. It's just one of those fights where a lot is happening at the same time. And there's just a lot of things to consider. But honestly, I so far we haven't even seen the whole raid yet. I love it more than Eldir, and I loved Eldir so much. But this new raid, it's innovative. It feels like I knew it would be huge with 9 bosses and 3 different sections, but it feels massive. And like playing into Zelda lore, like when you're doing the first 3 bosses outside, it is massive. Like it's a whole giant space, and I'm loving it so far, and the mechanics are interesting and fresh, and the visuals are stunning, and it's all the Zandalari sort of aesthetic. And you know, I've seen Jaina already. You don't get to directly fight her, but she tries to mess you up, and I just hate her so much that it's really feeling that passion for me to just like go and kick her ass. So all around, like I haven't even finished the whole raid yet, and I am completely in love with it.
Oh man, that's awesome. And I know I've heard this like I've mentioned before. I listen to a lot of your podcasts. I know for a fact that you do not like Jaina Proudmoore, and that is one ass you would not mind kicking repetitively.
Bad mage.
Bad mage.
I'm a better mage.
Bad mage.
Bad mage.
In terms
man.
of like for MMOs, but like let's take WoW specifically. What constitutes normally for a good raid? Is it the time it takes to beat it, how complex it is, or how easy it is? What do you consider as okay? This is a fun raid. This is a nicely made raid.
Wow. That is an excellent question. How considering all of the raids in World of Warcraft, I think what I appreciate most is I think what's important to me is cadence. Nobody likes running into a huge wall of trash. And you know, when you have 10 plus people that are committing to 6 hours a week of working on the same thing together, working towards a common goal, you don't want to spend a ton of time getting trash down, because people usually turn off their brains when there's a lot of trash, myself included, especially since I'm ranged DPS. So you know, I think that there has to be trash in raids to make it feel more immersive. Like, why would you be able to just run around fighting one boss after one boss in a huge fortress without, like, you know, troops and stuff that you have to worry about? But I don't want to spend 20 minutes doing that. And there have been some raids in the past, I won't say which, that, you know, have some trash mob encounters that take a lot of thought and a lot of manpower, and they take an annoyingly long time.
Ice cream.
And I don't know, like I'm not saying the trash mobs are bad. It's just this sort of speaks to the whole cadence thing. It's like, I want to go in and I need the first boss to be not a morale destroyer, please. Like, if the first boss is too hard, then the rest, like, you're gonna push and push and push. Your raid team's gonna get frustrated instantly, and you're not gonna want to continue. Like, the first boss has to be at least reasonable, and so you get that boss down, you're feeling good about yourself, and then you can continue. And it's all, I think, personal preference for me. It's easier when the dungeon is very linear. Like, it's obvious which way you should go. Okay. And you're moved along quickly. Like, cinematics are great. Everybody loves cinematics. So if you're looking to, like, make the dungeon experience a little longer, stick in cinematics, not giant mobs of trash. But I don't know. I just a dungeon that seems like it's flowing, I guess. This is like a really weird way to describe it, but
now let it flow.
I just want to go in there and know that I'm not going to get stuck on mobs, know that I'm not going to get lost, and know that I'm going to at least get the first boss down and feel good about myself for a while, enough to go after the other bosses and feel good about it. Yeah. And, you know, fresh mechanics, innovative mechanics, and a lot of the time, you know, I appreciate a good tank and spank or a good loot pinata fight. But if there's something interesting going on, like what was that one? I don't remember. Just mechanics that you don't find in any other raid. Those fights that really stand out. So not every fight has to be like that. Not every fight has to have, you know, your classic brand of WoW whimsy. Not every fight has to require you to get into a vehicle or anything like that. But one or two of those in a big raid is appreciated, because it's, like, refreshing.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to go back real quick to your point about you want a linear progression, like a linear direction within the raid. So are you not a fan of, like, when the team that Ian has gives you, like, 3 bosses to choose from, like after you down one boss, you got, like, oh, we can choose any of these 3, and then we have to go back and take the other one and the other one. Like,
I like that, but okay. That's a choice, you know, and you can, I think sometimes that choice is important, because, you know, some days you'll be missing a few people, and those people might be good at AoE, so you're like, okay, we've got time for one more boss, obviously we're gonna go and take the the single target boss instead.
Yeah.
So I think those choices are important sometimes, and that wouldn't mess me up per se. It's just like sometimes when you're in Aldir, you have absolutely no idea where you are or where you should go.
Yeah.
So maybe it's that.
Oh, that's awesome. Techie Taco in the chat says they enjoy variety. I don't want to assume Techie Taco's gender. They enjoy variety and writing the line between challenging and entertaining as well. So yeah, like it doesn't have to be too hard, but it also can't be a pushover, because some days when you get the mechanic and you have things on farm, you don't want to think too much as well. Like sometimes you just want the loot after you've downed it like 300 times. So
exactly.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. DZ, I mean, excellent question, brother. Like, really good.
Yeah. Good question.
I've always wondered, because I mean, every time I talk to people who play WoW, they're always talking about raids and the new raids coming out. I mean, the only raid I've ever experienced was in Destiny 2, and I only did that once. After that, I never played it again.
Oh, wow.
Because, yeah, like or maybe twice, but like, I think the reason why I didn't like Destiny 2's raid is because there was only one. Secondly, it didn't seem like the reward was worth the time I put into raiding, because any of the rewards I could get anywhere else.
Okay.
So yeah, that's why for me it wasn't a good raid. It was puzzly, sure, but it was okay. Here, that's another thing. In WoW, there are some raids that require to do this. There are puzzles, right? You have to complete in certain areas, right?
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, not especially, but occasionally.
Okay. Well, I don't know. This puzzle seemed a bit too like if you make even the smallest mistake, you couldn't get back from that. You had to start all the way from the beginning.
Yikes.
There's no remorse in that kind of thing. So, I mean, not all the way from the beginning, but like it was like, like we have to do it again.
Yeah.
It was frustrating more than challenging. It wasn't even yeah, it's more of that.
Oh, I hear
WoW
you.
doesn't really do that, thankfully.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They've learned from other games and their own past mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, I was just ultimately curious on that.
Yeah. All right. So, Thyst, I know you cover esports, especially in the Battlenet News esports show. And I actually wanted to ask you about the MDI, the Mythic Dungeon Invitational, and all the PvP side of World of Warcraft. But we're already on an hour, and I want to talk about Overwatch, because I want to get your thoughts on a few key topics on Overwatch. So I want to keep, again, I'm leaving a little bit for the future. I'm leaving a bit for the future.
Yeah, I would love to talk about the MDI. That starts up April, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about
But
that in the
next time.
future. But yeah, I want to talk about the Overwatch League specifically, because the hype has gone down since the end of the inaugural season, and it's slowly building back up. They've had their media day, they've had a lot of roster shakeups and a lot of new expansion teams coming in, and I want to know, for you specifically, what excites you the most about the upcoming season and potentially the whole year for Overwatch?
What excites me the most? I'm just excited to get Overwatch League back. It was so much fun having so much content all of the time. There's like 3 nights a week of Overwatch, and it's so hype, like watching it with your friends online. In New York, I was lucky enough to go to viewing parties regularly with the 5DVs, the MIXL Booster Club. That's actually how I met a lot of the friends that I've made in New York, is through Overwatch League. I don't come from a traditional sport background. I never understood the hype. I mean, obviously I'm Canadian and I like hockey, but that's sort of a cultural thing. And I was never like watching hockey actively and then going to school or work next day talking about it. So I never really understood all of that hype. But Overwatch League made me understand that kind of hype. And it's so, like, if you're into Overwatch League and someone else is into Overwatch League, you're going to have tons to talk about, because not only is there 3 or 4 days a week of new matches and new content to look at. But then, there's all of the teams in question with all of their social medias all of the time. And not
Yeah.
only just, Overwatch League has done a really good job of individualizing and legitimizing their players, making them quote unquote rock stars, and giving them fan bases and stuff like that. And you can latch on to any of your favorite players, teams, or coaching staff or whatever.
Or
and
color.
you can find people within those fandoms to be friends with. So it brings gamers together. And obviously as a Blizzard fan, as I am, like, this is all Blizzard related. So I'm literally meeting people that I never would have talked to otherwise in real life and online. And we always have something to talk about. And there's always some kind of controversy going on, whether it's good or bad or funny or not. But I finally understand why people love traditional sports so much, because it is very inclusive. It's fun. It's hype. It gives you something to look forward to, and it's fun to watch. So I think I'm just looking forward to the general feeling of it being back in my life.
Yeah, because the off season's been, it's been quite a lull. The hype that the Overwatch League got during, it really sucks, because you got so hyped during the season and seeing your favorite players and your favorite teams battle it out, like you said, on a consistent basis throughout the week, and then all of a sudden it's just gone.
Yep. And like the World Cup was nice to have to look forward to. That was over real quick,
Yeah.
And then that was it.
I think it's kind of okay though that like once it's done, like there's not much buzz, because I feel like if right after Owl there's another tournament and another and another and another, it kind of oversaturates that market. So I think it's okay that there are breaks so we can rest, because I have a feeling if they had I don't know, maybe 2 Overwatch leagues in 1 year, that'd be a bit too much.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
For me personally, I'm kind of okay with the lull for a bit.
Yeah, and for the players as well, it's healthy.
Yes, they definitely do need breaks, and this year's going to be a lot better for all of the players involved, just because there are more teams. So that gives other teams a break, and they're going to give them longer breaks in between matches and things like that. So that's good. And you're right, like the lull is important. There's a lot of rearranging that the teams have to do. It gives contenders time to shine, but it really left an impact last year that has been sorely missed, and I'm really looking forward to it being back.
Did you ever get to watch a live show of Owl? A live
at the Blizzard Arena?
Yeah.
The only time I went to the Blizzard Arena, it was right after BlizzCon, and they hadn't teared down the AWC stuff yet, so that was cool for me as a WoW player. But I did get to see the grand finals in Brooklyn last year.
Nice.
Yeah, that was probably one of the coolest experiences of my entire life. It was so much fun.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
It was just incredible. I really hope that they do that again this year in Brooklyn.
I mean, did you get to meet DJ
fly.
Khaled after the show? How was he?
Oh my god.
I feel like even if I had the opportunity to meet him, I probably wouldn't have. That was a weird thing that happened. I'm glad that it happened, because it'll go down. It's already a part of history as one of the cringiest things ever. And actually being there I've never felt cringe like that before. I've never felt so embarrassed for somebody before, and also simultaneously very angry at the same. They really didn't have to get DJ Khaled. They literally could have brought Jeff Kaplan out on stage for 5 minutes and we would have gone insane,
Yeah.
DJ Khaled was just not necessary, and he clearly had no clue what the hell he was doing or why he was there or what Overwatch was.
Overwatch me.
Overwatch me. Oh man. At least he brought his own DJ, right? You know what I mean? all these DJs got to do the work themselves. He brought his own.
And it's a good thing too, because that DJ was working very hard, doing most of the work.
That's the best hype man there is, DJ Khaled.
Tucky Talk in the chat said, at least it wasn't Shaggy and Sting.
Hey, you never know. Maybe it could be.
But
They're on tour together for some reason.
They do? Wait, they do?
Oh yeah, dude. They do. Oh. You know-
Wait, like,
you remember-
like, picture this, we were both fun. That Shaggy?
Yes, and they cover that song.
No!
Sting and
I-
Shaggy. Yep.
I need to hear it. Is it on YouTube?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I found that a few months ago and I brought it to the attention of the Lagging Balls listeners. And now every time
Damn,
people
how did
see
I miss
anything about
that?
Sting or Shaggy, I don't know how that happened.
When?
I think they actually have an album together as well.
I can't. Okay. After show is gonna be a little fun. Okay.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about Shaggy and Sting later on. When we talk about the Overwatch League's upcoming season, it's hard not to talk about the season that happened as well. We had such a visually stunning first season, although from certain reports it wasn't as profitable as they might have wanted. But in terms of establishing certain standards for an esports league, and especially Blizzard's first major one, they went all in on the Overwatch League. I want to know your thoughts on how it went.
I think, in my opinion, it was a very successful first year and venture into I don't want to say esports, like it is esports, but it's so much more than that. What they were trying to do, I think, was to sort of normalize esports in North America. Obviously, everywhere else in the world, not everywhere, but a lot of other places in the world, especially Korea, obviously, it's part of the culture, but it's not so much part of the culture here yet. Obviously, esports has been booming, especially in the past year, but I think what Blizz was trying to do with Overwatch League was to sort of pioneer this whole, let's make esports more like T-sports kind of thing, with branding, with the broadcast, with just making it possible for people to go to work the next day and talk about the match around the water cooler, just like they would a sports match. They're trying to bring esports into the American living room, like through the television, and they succeeded. It was on what, Disney?
ESPN,
It was on a Disney channel. It was like ESPN,
yeah.
ABC. I remember I was at the grand finals and my mother texted me from Canada and she's like, I'm watching on NBC. And I'm like, that is crazy, And so,
Dang.
and just with all of the sponsors and partners that they brought in, like Toyota and T-Mobile and Sour Patch Kids and Cheez-Its and stuff like that, like those are huge things. And those are, I almost said normal brands, but those are mainstream brands. Like because you would expect an Overwatch, an esports league to partner with a DX Racer or like Microsoft or something, relevant brands to esports. But Overwatch League is partnering with all of these well-known brands that are like general. So I think that really speaks to it too. Yeah, Sour Patch Kids, everybody.
Amazing.
So I think that they really succeeded. I remember the first time I went to a viewing party. I was working at doubletap.com at the time, and I went to go interview people for a piece. And I talked to a bunch of people and actually met a bunch of people who started playing Overwatch because of Overwatch League. They had already been watching it. That blew my mind. And that said to me that they really have something here that even people who don't play the actual game, because you would assume that people would watch Overwatch League because they like Overwatch. But people are playing Overwatch because they like Overwatch League, because Overwatch League is digestible and friendly looking enough where people who aren't hardcore gamers or esport fans can turn it on and get into it a little bit. And that definitely has to do with branding. That definitely has to do with the style of broadcast. That definitely has to do with the hosts and just the way that Overwatch League looks. It doesn't look threatening. It looks exciting. And just the way that they've given the fans the freedom to create memes and to hold up signs, and every match is a little bit cheeky, and that sort of created this whole culture that is also very inclusive. Like, yes, the Overwatch professional scene is very exclusive, or at least it seems that way from an outsider's point of view, but that's not what I'm talking about. Overwatch League, the broadcast, and watching it and getting into it, wearing the merch, finding all of these teams, liking them based on where you're from or where you wish you were from, liking them based on the players that you love because they also stream, because you follow them on social media, liking the team because you like the coaches, because they're funny, because you're a big Jane fan, so you love Dallas Fuel. Like, all of that is so easily digestible and easily consumed by the casual player and even my mom back in Canada, that I think that they really, really made something and really had a successful year in that way.
Yeah, hopefully it continues, because, you know, like, the signs that we've gotten from HOTS being pulled out of a competitive side, and they're the track record of a game that loses support, it doesn't really always bode well for the company itself. And I really hope that they continue to support Overwatch and Overwatch League, because the tier 2 and tier 3 scene, as you know, is a little shaky at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's scary as two people, DZ, you and I, who want to shoutcast Overwatch more. You know, it's scary to think about the future, but at the same time, when you see the Overwatch League and the level of production and investment they've put into it, you can't also help but be optimistic. So it's sort of a double-edged sword, but at the same time, like, come on, I hope it works out. I really hope it works out.
Yeah,
It will. Don't worry.
yeah. It's kind of like scary and disheartening, like when you hear people saying, "Oh, it's a dead game," or like, "I'm getting bored of it," yada yada yada, all that negative stuff. Especially since, like, we're personally pretty much invested in the game so much. Like, even if we don't play it all the time, but it's disheartening to hear those things. But I mean, looking at the state of Overwatch now, especially the esports scene, it's still thriving. But yes, Harold, I totally agree. It's scary.
Yeah.
Don't worry. They've been saying that WoW is a dead game for 15 years. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
That's true.
Fine.
That's true.
Yeah. It's okay.
Man, I feel so much better now. I feel so much better.
Don't worry.
Putting it in the WoW perspective. Yeah, you know, Guild Wars is the WoW killer, and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
every year there's a WoW killer.
Oh my god.
Apparently, yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna change to my old Al jersey, so I'll BRB.
Oh yeah,
I just
go
forgot
go.
we're
You
in
can do it on
Al's
stream.
already.
You can do it on stream.
I
No.
should have worn my jersey. I have to commend you for wearing a Sure 4 jersey. He's my favorite player. in the
Kasumi is
league
my
by
girl.
far.
Kasumi's
Yes,
like-
Tazumi.
yeah.
She's beautiful. She's Grace. Long purple hair down her face. Gorgeous.
You gotta love Sure4 himself, who we'll talk about briefly later on. Like, he's such an adorable guy. He's so honest.
He's just completely non-fussed by fame or by much of anything. He's super cool, super calm, and like, he's my favorite. My second favorite was XQC, so like both opposite ends of the spectrum. And I first got into Sure4 and XQC because they were Canadian, and you know, last year there weren't any Canadian teams, and I was like, well, okay, I'll check out. Like, I already knew about XQC and I liked him anyway. But I heard about this Sure4 guy, and he was amazing and funny and Canadian, and I'm a little biased.
I can't tell. Could never tell. And you like, it's also easy to see them as a pair from the second or the first World Cup where they had their bleach blonde hair. Like,
Exactly. It was nice to see them on Team Canada this year with Jane.
yes, especially
That was
XQC.
amazing.
Like, after being away for so long from the league,
Yeah.
it was refreshing. Oh, and Jane, yeah, you're right. Like, they
Bubba
did
Ray
well.
Dudley.
But have you seen that thumbnail, Thyst? There's one thumbnail of Jane where I think it was him trying to coach a bronze player, or he was in a bronze match, and the thumbnail looked like, you know, Bubba Ray Dudley from wrestling.
I don't.
I gotta look for
Hang
that.
on.
Oh,
wait.
yeah, we'll talk about that later on. And Nerf Diva in the chat, throwing up those Canadian flags.
Sure F. Sure 4.
Yeah, Sure4
Overrated.
is a gem, definitely a gem. And you know, I don't want to. We have such positive energy right now, but sadly, we got to. One of the reasons why we wanted to have you on the show with this is we wanted to tackle sort of serious issue, And Diego, you and I, we do not like getting serious on the show. But this is a bit of a touchy subject that we wanted to have a proper guest on, and not talk about with just three dudes on the internet. So, as you are aware, there has been some controversy in contenders, the Overwatch contenders, with a fake. Should I say fake player? Is that the right term for this? Like a
real player, not actually a girl.
Yeah. So someone who was posing to be female. The Ellie controversy is what we're talking about, and there was a lot of There were a lot of strange things happening in regards to this, and you know, for the uninitiated, for the people who've been sort of out of the loop because, you know, maybe you don't follow contenders. What happened was one of the players from, what team was that? Second Wind posed as a female, and the team pretended to recruit. I don't know. This is all alleged. You know, the team recruited a player known as Ellie, and supposedly Ellie was female, and they made a big fuss about it. The team itself was tweeting out and getting on social media saying, "Oh, first female contenders player," and all that jazz. And it ended up being what the player called a social experiment, because from the reaction to the player, there was a lot of controversy because people were saying, "Oh, yeah, there's no way you're a girl. There's no way this is a real account." And there were a lot of things being questioned, not just in terms of the Overwatch side, but also on a morality scale and in terms of the competitive scene in esports in general. And it was rough. It was very rough. Thyst, I wanna pick your brain a bit. What did you think when you first saw or heard about all of this?
Like when I found out that it was a complete hoax.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't think that there is a diversity issue in professional Overwatch. It's not an issue. It's not Blizz or any team. Blizzard's not in charge of who gets to be put on what team. Mm-hmm. So Blizzard hardly has anything to do with this. But it's not that people aren't letting girls try out. It's not that teams aren't considering women. That's not it. It's just that there aren't any yet. It's not a gated thing. It's just there aren't any yet. And we are moving away from that. The girls that are old enough to be playing on professional teams or older,
like
we're not overly encouraged as little kids to play video games. It was a boy thing, quote unquote. So yeah, there's way more male video game players than female ones right now in this generation, in my generation. That's changing, so it'll be different soon. But just the way that, like I said, Overwatch League is easily digestible by all people and not just massive esport fans. All people are noticing the total lack of women playing professionally. And people who are super into esports have already, you know, they already expect that, you know, like it's not a huge thing. They're not tuning into a Call of Duty tournament and being like, "Where are all the chicks at?" You know, like it's not it's not an issue. There just aren't, you know. But since it's such a normal thing, it shouldn't be normal, of course. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be female players, of course not. But it's just the way it is right now. And it's not anybody's fault. It's just the way it is right now. Nobody is barring females from playing. Nobody. It would be really stupid of them. So I don't think that there's a diversity, again, issue within professional Overwatch. I do think that there is a toxicity problem. And those things are separate because, you know, there's, well, not entirely either. Yeah, there are women who are qualified to play professional Overwatch, but they're not doing it because they're worried about stuff like this. And I think that's the crux of this whole problem. It's not contenders Overwatch League, no diversity problem. It's fine. Like, I hate to bring up Geguri because she doesn't like being the example. That's why she didn't want to play Overwatch League in the first place. But there she is, you know, like she's the right age and she's the right skill to play in Overwatch League, and there she is, and there she stayed. But a lot of women are not pursuing their dreams of professional gaming because of the toxicity, and that is the problem within Overwatch. So this whole social experiment kind of set us back a little bit on that front, because the whole thing is kind of toxic. Just sort of taking advantage of the controversy and, you know, what's hot right now, and sort of getting people's hopes up about a female contender and then dashing them so terribly. Like, it's a subject matter that shouldn't have been handled so ridiculously, especially by Second Wind. I want to believe that they were left in the dark about it mostly, but they had to have known that something was up, because people across the board weren't questioning Ellie because she was a good player. They were questioning her because every time she said anything in comms, it would be delayed. Nobody had ever seen her. Nobody had ever seen her on stream. She just kind of came out of nowhere. Her profile, like her player profile, was very suspect. It, like, even if it had been like a dude trying to get in contenders as somebody else, it would have been sketchy. You know, like the whole girl thing on top of that just made it even more sketchy. So I don't know. I think it was certainly not a social experiment. It was somebody who thought it would be funny to do this. I don't think that they expected it to blow up as much as it did, but obviously it did. And unfortunately it did, because it gave the people who don't want to see women playing esports a chance to laugh and jeer and to go off the rails, and it really put a lot of people into weird positions, and it kind of made a farce of everything. And again, like I said, the crux of the problem is that female pro players don't want to get involved because it sucks for them because of all this toxicity, and this definitely made that worse. We don't need scandals like this in professional Overwatch. Like when Geguri became a professional player before Overwatch League, and people thought that she was cheating, and then she had to go and literally prove herself in front of everybody live on Twitch. That was something we didn't need. We shouldn't have had that. Shouldn't have never happened. And now it's a thing, you know. And now this is a thing, and we don't need any more things. We just need Overwatch to get older. We need years to go by. We need people to stop being toxic and doing stupid stunts like this, so that women start feeling more comfortable to apply and to get better and chase their dreams. And with that being said, like, Overwatch League is fraught with women. I know so many women who work at the Blizz Arena, who work with the teams, who are team coaches, who are team owners, who represent just like player relations. Like, I know so many women who work behind the scenes at Overwatch League. There is not a diversity problem within Overwatch League. It's just the toxicity. So I don't know. I feel like I've been rambling, but what I'm trying to say is,
no, we like it.
Okay, good. This is just a scandal that is less about. It is very much about diversity, but it's less about a diversity issue and more about a toxicity issue that is causing a diversity issue.
Yeah.
Or could potentially do that.
That's a very good way to put it.
Yeah. If I'm a pro player and that's all I want to do in my whole life, like I don't know, like let's say I'm a 15-year-old or I'm a 17-year-old girl from Canada and I really want to play for Toronto, and I've been practicing. I'm an amazing player. I'm a flex. I'm exactly what people would need, and it's my dream. I'm gonna go online and see the whole Ellie thing and be like, okay, cool. I'm a joke.
Yeah.
Awesome. And, you know, young people don't need that because it's gonna deter them, and women don't need that because we're already deterred in so many ways. So what we need is less of these stupid things to happen, and more giguris, more women who are just like, yeah, I'm a girl, who cares? I'm a good WoW player, that's what matters. Or I'm a good Overwatch player, and that's what matters in this industry. We need more women who are working in industry for Overwatch League or for Blizzard to come forward and be like, hey, I'm here. This is how I did it. You don't need to care about all the stuff that's going on. Just do it. Because the more normalization we get within professional Overwatch, the easier it's going to be for girls to do what they want to do and achieve their goals and their dreams and stuff like that. So, I don't know. The whole thing was just so stupid. So stupid.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
And part of it, comes from the fact that a lot of these Overwatch professional players have come into it so young. We know what it's like to be 12 years old or 13 years old or in the early teens, and growing up in the age of the internet with Twitter and Instagram, more and more dumb stuff is going onto the internet.
Yeah.
And it's becoming public. When we were young, like 10, 15 years ago, it would never have seen the light of day. And we've been able to grow outside of the spotlight to be able to do that. But these kids, they're thrust into this with the dreams and ambitions of becoming professional. And, the spotlight is shown on them whether they want it to be or not. And they have to learn very early on that their actions have consequences. And something that might have come off as a troll in high school is now being called out by the entire internet. And it's such a strange place. And I think you're right, Thyst. It's better to snuff it out now. We're evolving in a society where esports is a thing, and you're gonna get young professionals like this. And it's better to snuff it out. That's all, folks. It's better to snuff it out now, while esports are still relatively young, especially compared to T-sports, the traditional sports. When you get a culture like that and you get to mold it from this very early age, especially when it hasn't hit mainstream media that big yet, when you get players in, it might not be for the players now, it could be for the players 2-3 years from now, even 4 or 5 years from now or more. It makes it a better place for them. It makes it so much easier for a girl that's 8 years old now, to grow up and be like, I can be an esports pro because I'm better than all these other guys. I don't have a handicap because of my gender. I am just as freaking awesome as every other person. And that's how they'll see it, it's a league of people and not a league of guys. Or
Exactly.
They're not being forced into a league of girls comparatively. You don't need a women's league in esports. It's just that, that's how it is right now with teams and how they've acquired their players. I think they've mentioned this on Watchpoint before. It's like you mentioned this, it's not because Geguri is female. It's because the teams that were acquired for the first season of the Overwatch League were actually teams to begin with. They were rosters from other franchises or other organizations that were bought and brought into the Overwatch League. It's just because it's young that it seems this way.
There's going to be more players. Maybe not this year, maybe next year, definitely the year after that. But it's just a matter of waiting and hoping that stupid stuff like this doesn't happen again.
Exactly. DZ, you've been relatively quiet. I want to get your thoughts on this.
No, I totally agree. I mean, ever since the whole issue came out, I've been rattling my brain. What's the best way to put this, or to put into words and what kind of an issue or what the real issue is for this? I just want to say, I think this summarizes it perfectly. I mean, it's more of a toxicity issue. And with what you said, Harold, how things are now, we have internet. There are just more people that have that who are accessible to the internet who can just say all these things. So there are more things that this is going to happen. But yes, as well, it's good. I guess in a sense, that it's good that this happens now than in the future. And I think what this said as well is that Overwatch needs to get older. As the years go, I think things will level out. Things will get even better. I mean, time is all we need. Time is all that the gaming industry needs. I mean, same thing that happened with music. Same thing that happened with comics at some point. There were things that happened issues, controversial issues that happened, but after time, you know, everything, you know, worked out in the end.
Yeah, and hopefully it will. To take a lighter spin on things, I love Beetlegeist's message in the chat. We need more old people too, you know, like an Overwatch seniors league.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, people
That'd
who
be
are
awesome.
experienced, people who are like proper and not, you know, not toxic. but you know, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, relative to esports, wouldn't like seniors in esports be like 35-year-olds? Like,
Yep.
Yeah. They're all like
That
uncles.
sucks.
They all have children. They all have lives. Like,
oh man.
it would be fun. Like, I think like just a few months ago, late last year, there was a tournament in the Philippines. It was called it was a Tito League, like an uncle's league of Counter-Strike players. Like, and all the players were like in their 40s or like
That's so
early
cool.
30s. Because like they used to play Counter-Strike when they were our age, when they were younger, and like to see this, and they were like, "Oh, guys, let's go, let's bring the whole gang back together from what 10 years ago." And it's fun to have senior leagues.
Yeah, man. Like if we could, yeah. Hopefully we can see things develop for a long enough period that we get to the point where we can think about senior leagues and, you know, just more diversity. Yeah,
A Masters Cup.
Oh my gosh, that'll be fun.
Meaning old people cup. It's a euphemism for that, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice way of putting it. And you know, to round things off, it is a rough time right now, where, you know, the toxicity is kind of weird, and you get articles like the one on the Daily Dot talking about Surefour and his comments at the Overwatch League Media Day, because Surefour came out and said on Media Day, you know, they asked him like, "Oh, what do you like to do in your spare time?" And he answered honestly. And at the same time he answered jokingly like, "Oh, I like to look at girls on Instagram." Like an average everyday person should be able to do in their private time. They do. Yeah, they look at an app like Instagram that it's designed for that pretty much. And the Daily Dot kind of makes him look out to be like such a bad person. And if you know Surefour, I
wasn't aware of this article until you put it in these show notes. Yeah. I thought it was a farce. I thought this was a satirical article. I thought it was a joke. Like, I had to read it twice, and then I had to look at Reddit I thought that it was a joke. I'm sorry, but that article was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever read. I'm sorry, but like, Surefour literally just said, "I like to look at girls on Instagram." That doesn't mean anything. I look at girls on Instagram. I look at a lot of things on Instagram. Like, I know what he meant, you know, but like, it's as a joke, you know? And Surefour, you know, part of his online personality is he loves women and he likes to look at them and talk to them and whatever. He's a young man who's into women. That literally has nothing to do with diversity issues, toxicity. It doesn't have anything to do with his personality. And I don't, you know, when he tweeted that about Media Day and what he said, I retweeted that because I literally laughed out loud when I read it.
Because it's hilarious.
You know?
He put it in. Yeah, he put it in the context where the media reporter was saying, "Oh, we can't say that." And if you read
it's funny.
Yeah, and if you see his streams and the way he talks, and if you picture it in context, you know he's being funny. You know it's lighthearted. And the article just paints it like, "Oh, this is why we can't have, you know, girls in leagues like this." Like, it's not that at all.
No. And I hate that we have to justify that Surefour is a good person and that he's funny and has a funny personality because he said that he looks at girls on Instagram as a joke. Like, that's the stupidest thing. Like, that's what I would have like, if I was sitting at a media day and somebody asked me what I do in my spare time, I probably would have said something equally stupid, you know? It's like, I like to watch tentacle porn in my spare time, you know? Like, I love writing really bad fan fiction in my spare time. Like, I like looking at, he didn't even say hot girls, you know, or girls in bikinis. He said girls.
So
like, I like looking at hot guys on Instagram. I like to doesn't matter. Like this is a non-issue.
Yes.
Complete non-issue that has absolutely nothing to do with anything. But this article just like, and then they bring up the Ellie situation, they bring up gay Guri, they bring up the diversity issue, and it's like, whoa, relax, you know? And this is the kind of diatribe that is not helping, you know? It's like people want there to be an issue so badly, and a lot of the time when I see things like this, I have to wonder if the person writing it or researching it really understands Overwatch League and esports in general.
Yeah.
Because if you do, like, there's no problem. There's no problem here. There's a toxicity problem, but Surefoy telling Media Day that he looks at girls on Instagram, not toxic.
I feel like the person who wrote this just wanted a clickbait, or like wanted the clicks, wanted the views.
Totally.
For sure, because this is kind of similar to what the thing happened. Basically, actually, not even similar. It's similar to a lot of issues where articles just make it in such a way that the article fits the narrative they want to give people.
Yes.
So this is it. This is how it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
They probably posted in Overwatch TMZ on their Smurf, like on their Reddit Smurf, like just to get the.
Just ridiculous. This is just like another thing that we do not need, because you know, some 15-year-old girl who wants to play for Toronto again, gonna look up to Surefoy because he's a Canadian player, and she doesn't care that he's a boy.
Yeah.
She just cares about how good he is at Overwatch. She's gonna read this article, and she's 15, so she's gonna think, oh my god, he's an evil man, you know. Oh no, I can't play, you know, or now I can't look up to Surefoy. Now I can't respect him as a player because he looks at girls on Instagram. Oh god, you know.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It's the kind of media you think about when you write like a superhero movie, and the media is like bashing the superhero for doing the right thing. It's like,
exactly.
Like they're exaggerating all the little things, and like
leave Spider-Man alone.
Yeah.
He's trying to help.
Jay, see that brings me to my next point. Who approved this article? J. Jonah Jameson? Like
exactly. Relax. Jeez.
Well, this is an opinion website, right? It's not like mainstream or anything. An opinion?
I thought it was a what's it called? The Daily.
Well, it's
Let me take
it's clickbait, but it is.
Yeah, well, like I'm just thinking, like, I think, I don't know if this sounds a bit too, you know, like this is far-fetched. Like, I think there has to be like a database or there has to be a way you can tell if an article or a blog or stuff like this more look like opinion point. Well, it does say here on top of the article it's an opinion thing, but
yeah, definitely somebody's opinion.
Yeah,
definitely not fact.
But they do have editors and they do have a team, so it's like, how did this?
Editors care about people getting eyes on their.
That's true.
Stuff, so.
Bimo King of Uatras in the chat says this should be on R, not the Onion, like the subreddit, not the Onion.
Yeah, because it seems like an Onion article. It's ridiculous. Stupid.
So dumb. Well, let's end on a brighter note, guys. Thyst, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. Let me play some happy music because we're gonna be happy now. All the toxicity has been flushed out of our systems, and I finally got to achieve one of my most recent goals of being on a podcast with a podcaster I enjoy listening to. So thank you so much, Thyst, for coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It's been amazing. I love meeting you guys. Thank you so much for asking me.
And we will definitely ask you again, because I'm just putting it out there multiple times on this episode so I can clip it out in the future and reiterate that I'm making sure you're free. But Thyst, thank you so much for coming on the show. And you know what? At the end of the show, we thank everyone who follows us, who cheers us on with bits and subscribe to us, like Diva241, like Mini Jorgen and Chainsmoker258, like some amazing person named Thyst03, Yummy OO, Dog Turcats, I am Beetlegeist Dose, Link DeWitt, Sam18, and all these lovely people. We want to thank our leading bit cheerer, part of the #1 Overwatch team in the Philippines, Neo Gear. They're one of their prominent players who we got to shoutcast DZ over in November. Nope_plays. ElderDjinn, Nerf Diva. If not now, Gwen Mershi, Game ako, Tita Gamings, InstaDZ, and what? And of course, our subscribers, Human Panda, who has gone far beyond 8 subs in a row with all his gifted subs. Of course, Miko P and Furan Sishu, who have subbed to us 5 straight times as well, tied for second. Bimo King of Oo, Neo Gear, Sensei Humor, Monster Plays, Ion Hammerstream, Baninja, and It's Just Sauce. We love you all very much. Thank you guys so much. And Thyst, to the people seeing you for the first time and want to get more Thyst. And they're like,
Dangerous.
oh, you know what? I want to see her serious. I want to see her make dick jokes. I want to see her talk about Blizzard stuff. All the things I saw in GameByte in individual pieces. Where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at Thyst03. You can find me every week on Lagging Balls. Just check out laggingballs.com. You can find me on Convert to Raid Presents Battlenet News every Tuesday night on twitch.tv/converttoraid. And you just Google Lagging Balls and you'll find me, or Thyst. I wouldn't suggest image search, though. But if you're brave, go for it.
Do it now. Beetlegeist, I know you're tempted. Oh man, DZ, brother, where can the folks at home find you when you're not on GameByte?
Oh, okay. When I'm not on GameByte, you guys can find me on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/instadeze, INSTADEEZEE, and that's the same handle I use also for Instagram and on Twitter. When I'm not gaming, I'm a freelance director, so if you guys need videos, digital content, commercials, you can check out my website, www.diegoz.com. How about you, Harold? Where can the fine folks at home find you on the interwebs?
By the way, InstaDZ is also a professional shoutcaster for hire. Look him up on twitch.tv/quitstalling. But yes, thank you, DZ. If you guys want to find me outside of GameByte, you can catch me on the twice a month Quitstalling Overwatch community scrim nights, where me, DZ, JM Torres, Sorbetas PH create a custom game lobby and stream it and shoutcast it for all the lovely people who just want to play some games and get shoutcasted, because everyone deserves to be shoutcasted. You don't have to be a pro. All right, you don't have to be a pro. You just want to play some games weekly and, you know, maybe watch your gameplay footage after the fact and be like, yeah, I did make a nice play. Every Tuesdays, the Quitstalling Overwatch scrim nights. Check, not every Tuesday, twice a month. Pay attention to the social media to find out when. I'm also on GameByte weekly with DZ, 9:30 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, 5:30 a.m. California time. Still on Wednesdays. You can find me on the Quitstalling Geekcast on Thursdays, 1 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, 9 p.m. California time on Wednesday night. Is that it? Oh, you can find me at Herald Plays. Yes, at Herald Plays on Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch, twitch.tv/Herald Plays. I think that's it. We've done the show. We've recorded a giant-sized episode, which I'm very proud of. I loved everything we talked about on this episode, and I loved having Thyst on. Maybe we'll get Thorn on to fill the 4th slot. Sorry, Mick, if you're watching. Yeah. We want more people on the show. Pat, hug me, Pat. We'll see you all very soon, Wednesday to be exact. And you know what? We're gonna do a little bit of an after show, just a bit. We don't want to take up too much of this time. We're gonna do a bit of an after show after this. So if you're watching live, stay tuned for that. But next week, or this week, depending on whether you start your day on Sundays, we'll be back. Same Byte time, same Byte channel. But till then, get off your butts and quit styling. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.